Alrighty. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you, in my humble opinion, what I think is the fastest way to become profitable trading options, especially if you're a beginner, right? So if you're just starting out trading options, or maybe you have been trading options for under a year, then I do think that the fastest way for you to become profitable when it comes to options trading would be to trade what it's called omnidirectional option strategies. So what exactly are omnidirectional strategies? So omnidirectional strategies have a few common characteristics, right? So first of all, omnidirectional strategies basically can profit regardless of market direction, right? So the market can go up, the market can go sideways, the market can go down, and there can still be an opportunity for the strategy to still make money. So the next one is that it has a very wide profit zone. And when I mean wide profit zone, I mean that it can be even wider than the strangle or the iron condor, right? So for those of you who are very familiar with trading the iron condor or the strangles, you will know that they actually do have a wide profit zone. But when it comes to omnidirectional strategies, we're actually talking about an even wider profit zone. And one of the main characteristics of such strategies is that it only has risk to one side, right? So for example, if you choose an omnidirectional strategy that has no risk to the upside, that means regardless where the market rallies to, right, it can go all the way to the moon. You do not have to worry because it's still going to be profitable. And if you choose an omnidirectional strategy that has, risk to the upside, then if the market keeps going down, no matter how far it goes down, right? If the market crashes, you still do not have to worry because it's still going to be in a profit. And it usually is a combination of premium selling and premium buying strategies, but it's a net credit overall. So it is a premium selling strategy. And finally, it has to have more than an 80% win rate, right? In fact, in many cases, it can even have like a 90% win rate. So these are the characteristics of omnidirectional strategies. So what exactly are the option strategies that actually have all these characteristics? Well, here are a few examples. By the way, if you like this video so far, please subscribe and also click the thumbs up button, and also do get your free copy of the Options Income Blueprint, where I share the top 3 option strategies that help you generate a consistent income each month trading just 1 to 2 hours a day, right? So if you want to go ahead to get this copy, just head on over to optionswithdavis.com/blueprint. All right, back to the video. And the very first example is what's called the ratio spread, right? So for the ratio spread, you have the put ratio spread or the call ratio spread. So for this example, I'm just going to use the put. So the call side is pretty much just the opposite, right? It's just on the call side. So for the put ratio spread, as you can see down here on the chart, it consists of 2 short puts over here and then 1 long put. Now, if you think about it, if you were to break up these 2 short puts, it's actually what you're getting is you have 1 short put that is actually financing this long put spread, right? So when you sell this put option, the credit which you have is used to purchase this debit spread down here, right? You have a debit spread that is 1 long put and 1 short put, and then you have 1 additional short put. So the important thing down here is that when you are buying this debit spread, the put debit spread, you want to ensure that the amount that you purchase it for is going to be lesser than the credit you got for the short put, right? So let's say, for example, you sell 1 short put, and that short put roughly gives you, let's say, $2 in terms of credit. Then what that means is that you have roughly $2 credit to actually purchase your this put debit spread, right? So let's say you purchase the put debit spread for $1.50. So if you purchase it for $1.50, then what you have down here as a net is a 50 cents credit, right? So 50 cents credit just means that you're receiving roughly $50 in terms of your premium upfront for putting on this strategy. So if the market goes all the way up, at the very least, you can still be able to make, this minimum credit. So generally for the put ratio spread, the 2 short puts are together, right? So if you were to take a look at the P&L graph, it will look something like this. So if you see this tip of this tent down here, so this triangular shape down here, from this point to here, I call this the tent, right? So for this tent, if you take a look at the apex of this tent, the tip of this tent, this is where your 2 short puts are, right? Your 2 puts down here, and then you have 1 additional put over here. So this is plus 1 put. So as you can see down here, it has a pretty high win rate. It has roughly 85.93% win rate. So you can see that this is where the current market price is, right? This is where the current market price is. So if the market goes up, you still make the minimum of this whole strategy that you sold it for. So in the example which I gave you earlier, there will be 50 cents credit, which is $50. And if the market goes down, you still have an opportunity to actually make more than the minimum credit if it actually comes down to this 10th area down here, right? This 10th area down here is where you get, much more profits than this minimum profit zone, depending on where it is at expiration. So this is the put ratio spread. Now, for the put ratio spread, you can actually change it however you want it to, right? Like for example, if you want a bigger tent, then you can actually construct one with a bigger tent. So you can see right now, this tent is so much bigger. So you have a wider max profit zone, but it's a trade-off. The trade-off is that you get lesser credit upfront. Right, so this is just a trade-off. If you get a lesser credit upfront, it means you can get a bigger tent, and this actually also increases your win rate, right? It increases your win rate mainly because you notice that with a bigger tent, you actually push back your break-even price. Whereas for a smaller tent, let me just remove the drawing here. With a smaller tent, your break-even will be slightly closer, right? So that is why, it's important for you to just, tinker around with the strikes to see, which one are you more comfortable with. Do you want one with, more credit upfront? So this way, if the market goes up, does not come down, then you're going to get more premium. But if you're more protective and you're afraid that, the market crashes or, have a very steep decline and you want a larger profit zone, then you might want to go for one that has a wider tent down here. So this wider tent will give you a higher win rate and a higher max profit if you manage to pin this short strike at expiration. But the trade-off again is that you notice that your minimum profit, or rather your credit that you receive for selling this whole put ratio spread, is going to be much, much lesser. Again, there's no right or wrong. It really comes down to your outlook and what is it that you want for your, trading in terms of trading your options. Now, there's another way that you can actually construct this put ratio spread. You can actually split up your short put. So remember, this ratio spread is where you have a short put that finances a long put spread. So you can actually sell your short put that is below this long put spread. So for example, you can see over here, this is one short put down here. Then you have another short put down here. And then you have this long put down here. So this will be plus 1 put. So as you can see, the structure on the right hand side here, this will be your put debit spread. And then you're using this short put down here to finance your put debit spread. So when you do it this way, you have a slightly different structure than if you were to, put both short puts together. Now, the next example is what is called the broken wing butterfly. So again, I'm just using the put as an example down here. The call is just the opposite. So for the put broken wing butterfly down here, you notice that the structure above down here is the same as the put ratio spread, right? The only difference is that you add one additional long put at the bottom. Right, so this is where you actually define your risk. So in this case, if the market, crashes all the way down below this long put, you don't really have to worry because your max loss has already been kept to this point down here. So for the put broken wing butterfly, it's pretty much just a short put spread that is financing a long put spread. So for the put ratio spread, you have a short put that finances the long put spread, whereas for the broken wing butterfly, you have a short put spread that is financing a long put spread. So as you can see, it's pretty similar, right? The principle is pretty much the same. You're just using a credit strategy to purchase a debit strategy. So if you were to take a look at the P&L graph down here, you will also see that the win rate is actually also pretty high, right? About 87%. And this is how the broken wing butterfly look like, right? So this is where the current market price is. So if the market goes all the way up, you just get the minimum credit that you sold this whole structure for. And if it goes down, if let's say, for example, it stays somewhere within this 10 at expiration, then you have the opportunity to make much more than the minimum credit, right? And all the way to the downside down here, this is where you have your long put. So this put down here actually helps you protect your position in case, the market goes all the way to zero. So this is where you have a capped max loss for this trade. So if you do not have a very big capital to put on the put ratio spread, then you want to consider the broken wing butterfly in this case. Now, the next example of an omnidirectional option strategy is what is called the skewed condor. Now, I don't want you to get too confused by the name because it's actually just a variation of the broken wing butterfly, right? If you notice for the broken wing butterfly, basically you have two short puts at one place. So for the put condor, it's pretty much you're just splitting up these two short puts, right? So if I was to go to the chart down here, you notice that the short put now has been split up, right? Instead of having two short puts at one strike, you have the short puts at different strikes, right? So the one at the bottom down here is the put credit spread. So you have the short put spread, again, financing the long put spread. So one thing you'll notice with such kind of structures is that your long put spread, the width tends to be very much smaller than the width of your credit spread, right? The put credit spread. And the reason is because you need to purchase a put debit spread within the credit that is given to you, right? So if the credit down here is $2, you cannot purchase anything that is more than $2. Otherwise, this whole structure will be a debit. So the only way for you to actually purchase a put debit spread that is closer to where the current market price is that you need to find a put debit spread that has a smaller width. So that's the only way that you can actually construct this whole strategy that has an overall credit. So this way, if the market goes all the way up, then there's no risk whatsoever. But if you were to purchase a debit spread that is more than this $2 that's given to you, so let's say you purchase one that is $2.50, then what it just means is that if the market goes up, then you will have a loss of 50 cents or $50. So this is the fundamental of how we actually construct such omnidirectional option strategies when you're using one of the credit side to finance the debit side. So if you were to take a look at the P&L graph, you notice there's actually some similarities with the put ratio spread, which I showed you earlier, where I basically just split up the put options, right? The short put options. So if you think about it, it's actually the same, right? The only difference is that there's one additional long put down here for the put condor, and that defines your maximum risk. So again, for the skewed condor, you will also have a pretty high win rate. And your win rate really is determined by where you place this short put down here. So the further away you put this short put, the higher the win rate, right? So if you put this further away, you get a higher win rate, but at the same time, you also get lesser credit. So if you get lesser credit, then it means that your this put debit spread might be much smaller, or you may have to buy a put debit spread that is further out of the money as well, rather than, just below where this current market price is. So again, when you're putting on such strategies, it's very important for you to just tinker around with the strikes, just shift it back and forth to find a structure that you feel comfortable with. Now, one quick tip I want to kind of give you is regarding the name Condor. So you notice that this name Condor is very similar to the one that's called the Iron Condor, right? So one tip to give you is that whenever you hear the word iron, it means that there is a combination of put and calls, right? So Iron Condors consist of a short put spread and a short call spread. Whereas for the Condor, it's usually only using either all puts or either all calls. So similarly for the Ironfly and the Butterfly, right? So for the Ironfly, you have both the call option and the put option. Whereas for the Butterfly, you just simply have either the put or the call. Now, the next example of an omnidirectional option strategies is what is called the Jade Lizard. Now, the Jade Lizard is slightly different from the other strategies that I've shown you. And the difference is that for the Jade Lizard, you notice there's actually two credit strategies combined together. Whereas for the other strategies that I've shown you so far, it usually consists of a credit strategy and using that credit to finance, the purchase of a debit strategy. But for the Jade Lizard, it's actually two credit strategies. So you can see down here, you have a short put and then a short call spread. So the main thing down here that you want to take note of is this call spread down here. right? It's very important that when you construct the Jade Lizard, you want this call spread, the width, to be actually smaller than the total credit that you receive for this structure. So if you're familiar with trading call spreads, then the max loss of a call spread is simply the width of this call spread minus whatever premium that you get. So let's say, for example, if this call spread is $2, and let's say for this whole Jade Lizard structure, you get $2.50, then what it means is that if the market goes all the way up here, then first of all, your loss on this call spread will be $2. But because you already received $2.50 upfront for this whole structure, then you actually have a spillover of a positive 50 cents, right? So that'll be $50. So this way, if the market goes past your call spread, you still are profitable. So if we were to take a look at the P&L graph of this Jade Lizard, you notice that it's actually somewhat similar to the put ratio spread. So if we were to go back to the put ratio spread, you will notice that it is a pretty similar structure, right? You have a tent that is rather flat, and then you have this side where, as the market goes down, you keep losing more and more money, right? So both of them are undefined risk strategies because of the short put. Now, the difference between the put ratio spread and the Jade Lizard is basically where you have this spread down here, right? So for the put ratio spread, it's a put debit spread, whereas for the Jade Lizard, is a call credit spread. The difference is where you place it with regards to where the current market price is. So you can see down here, this is where the current market price is. So usually for the put ratio spread, your put debit spread is actually below where the current market price is. But whereas for the Jade Lizard, it's actually above where the current market price is. So if I was to go back to the graph again, you will see that the current market price is here. And then your call credit spread is on the right hand side of where the current market price is. So that's the main difference. So for the Jade Lizard, it also has a pretty high win rate. Now, the opposite of the Jade Lizard is what's called the reverse Jade Lizard. So for the normal Jade Lizard, you have a short put, right? So that means if the market keeps going down, then you're going to have, increasing losses as the market goes down. But whereas for the reverse Jade Lizard, it's the opposite, right? Your risk is actually to the upside. That means to say if the market keeps going all the way up, then you will start to lose even more money. But if the market goes down, then you will make the minimum credit which you sold this whole position for. Now, the final example that I have for the omnidirectional option strategy is what I call the Jade Iron Condor. So this is a term that I came up with, and basically I call it the Jade Iron Condor. Mainly it's because it's the defined risk version of the Jade Lizard, right? So if you recall, the Jade Lizard basically is this structure down here where you have a short put and a short call spread. So the Jade Iron Condor is basically where you have this long put at the bottom to define your risk, right? So it's just a defined version of the Jade Lizard. So if you will take a look at the P&L graph of the Jade Iron Condor, as you can see, the win rate is also pretty high. All the strategies that I share with you here is all above 80%, and this has a very, very wide max profit zone, right? So as you can see down here, this is where the current market price is. And the market can go up, it can go down, and you still have a chance to hit this max profit zone as long as it does not exceed this point down here, right? If it goes past this point, then you're just going to get the minimum credit. And if it goes below where your break-even zone is, then this is where you're going to start to lose money. So the good thing about this, and it's very, very beginner friendly, is because you have this long put down here that actually gives you, the protection. So in case if the market really crashes, then at least you know that your max risk has already been defined right at the start. Alright guys, so these are all the omnidirectional option strategies. So if you're just starting out and if you want the fastest way to actually be in profit, then you do want to choose one of these strategies just to, start out at first. And if you have a small account, then I would suggest to go for the defined risk ones first. And only once your account starts to get much bigger, then you go for the undefined risk ones. By the way, if you like this video, then you're absolutely going to love this next video which I have for you. So go ahead and watch that video right now. Also, if you haven't already gotten your free copy of the Options Income Blueprint, you can do so just by clicking this link down here on your screen, and you'll be able to get it for free. Alright, I will see you in the next video.